The nurse at the front desk didn't even look up when my daughter signed the papers. I watched her hand move across the forms, quick and efficient, like she'd done this 100 times before. Maybe she had. Maybe I was just another old man being dropped off before the holidays so the family could enjoy their turkey in peace. Sarah didn't meet my eyes. She hadn't met them since we pulled into the parking lot of Meadowbrook Senior Living 30 minutes ago. Her husband, Brad, was already back in the car, engine running, scrolling through his phone like he had somewhere more important to be. Which, I suppose, he did. Black Friday sales started in 2 days. "Dad, they'll take good care of you here," Sarah said, her voice tight. "The doctor said you need round-the-clock monitoring after that fall." I hadn't fallen. I'd tripped over a box in their garage. Their garage, where they'd stored my belongings after selling my house 6 months ago without telling me. They said they needed the equity, said they were drowning in debt from Brad's failed restaurant venture, said I'd understand because family helps family. I'd signed the deed over because Sarah was crying. Because she said, little Emma, my granddaughter, might have to change schools. Because I believed that blood meant something. The fall happened when I was looking for my toolbox. I wanted to fix the loose railing on their deck before Emma got hurt. Instead, I found boxes of designer handbags, Brad's $3,000 golf clubs, receipts from a vacation to Cancun they'd taken last month. I didn't fall. I sat down hard, trying to process the math that wasn't mathing. The debt that didn't exist. "Sign here, Mr. Morrison." The nurse, Brenda, according to her name tag, pushed a clipboard toward me. Her voice was kind, but tired. She'd probably seen this scene play out too many times. "What am I signing?" I asked. "Standard admission forms. Medical release. We need permission to—" "Dad, just sign it." Sarah's voice cracked. "We need to get going. Brad has to open the store tomorrow morning." Brad worked at a luxury car dealership. He didn't open anything. He sold $80,000 vehicles to people who didn't need them, and took home a commission that could have paid my rent for a year. But I wasn't paying rent anymore. I was being admitted to a facility I couldn't afford, signing forms I hadn't read. I signed anyway. Sarah hugged me. It was quick, perfunctory, the kind of embrace you give a stranger at church. "Happy Thanksgiving, Dad. We'll visit soon." They didn't visit. My room was on the second floor. Twin bed, small TV, a view of the parking lot where families came and went, loading up their elderly relatives for holiday dinners and birthday parties and Sunday visits that I watched from my window like a prisoner watching freedom. Thanksgiving came and went. The facility served turkey and something that might have been stuffing. My phone didn't ring. The day after Thanksgiving, I was in the common room watching the morning news with 6 other residents when my attorney's face appeared on the screen. Robert Chen. We'd built houses together for 30 years before I retired. He'd continued, expanded, built half of Austin's new developments. I'd been the hands, the guy who could fix anything, build anything. He'd been the mind, the guy who could sell anything, plan anything. We'd made a good team. I hadn't seen him in 5 years. He'd moved to Dallas. We'd exchanged Christmas cards. I'd heard through old colleagues that his business had exploded, that he was developing luxury condos downtown, that he was worth millions. The reporter's voice cut through my thoughts. Texas developer Robert Chen passed away Tuesday evening following a brief illness. He was 68. Chen was known for his philanthropic work and his loyalty to old friends and business partners. My chest tightened. Chen left behind a daughter, Grace, and according to sources close to the family, a substantial estate estimated at over $40 million. But in a surprise move, Chen's will reportedly leaves a significant portion to former business partners and longtime friends, including the screen switched to a photo. Robert, at a job site 20 years ago, and standing next to him, younger, grinning, wearing a tool belt, me, including David Morrison, Chen's original business partner from their early contracting days. Sources say Morrison's share of the estate could be worth as much as $8 million, along with property holdings and equity in Chen's company. The room spun. "David?" Brenda stood in the doorway. There's a phone call for you. Says it's urgent. A law firm in Dallas. I don't remember walking to the phone. I remember Brenda's hand on my elbow, steadying me. I remember the cool plastic against my ear. I remember a woman's voice, professional and crisp, confirming what I'd just seen on television. Robert had remembered me. After all these years, after I'd faded into retirement and obscurity while he built an empire, he'd remembered the guy who'd been there at the start, who'd shown him how to frame a wall and read a blueprint and treat his workers with respect. Mr. Morrison, I'll need to meet with you to discuss the details. Are you available this afternoon? I looked around the nursing home common room, at the flickered TV, at the other residents in various states of consciousness, at my life. For the past 4 days, I'm available, I said. The attorney arrived at 2. Her name was Margaret Sullivan, and she wore a suit that probably cost more than everything I currently owned. We sat in a small conference room the facility used for family meetings. Mr. Chen left specific instructions, she said, sliding papers across the table. The $8 million is liquid. It can be transferred to your account within a week, once probate clears. The property holdings include 3 rental buildings in Austin and a percentage of equity in Chen Development Group. Combined estimated value of your total inheritance is approximately $12.3 million. I'd built houses my entire life. Good houses. Solid houses. I'd made decent money. Saved what I could. Bought a modest home. Lived simply. At my peak, I'd had maybe $200,000 in savings and a paid-off house. Then Sarah's tears. Brad's debt. Family helps family. There's one more thing, Margaret said. Mr. Chen left a letter for you. She handed me an envelope. My name, written in Robert's familiar block handwriting. I waited until she left to open it. David, if you're reading this, I'm gone, and I hope you're not too shocked by the will. You deserve every penny. You taught me everything about building that matters. Not the money part, but the integrity part. The part about treating people right. About doing quality work, even when no one's watching. I heard through the grapevine about your house, about your daughter's situation. I wanted to reach out, but I wasn't sure you'd take help from an old friend. You were always too proud, too self-sufficient. So I'm reaching out now, when you can't refuse, when you'll have to accept what you earned a long time ago. A partnership that mattered, even if we lost touch. Build something good with this, David. And don't let anyone tell you that you don't deserve it. Your friend, Robert. I folded the letter carefully, put it in my shirt pocket, felt the weight of it over my heart. Then I called Sarah. She answered on the 4th ring. Dad. Hi. Sorry I haven't called. Things have been crazy with the holidays and I need to talk to you, I said. Can you come by tomorrow? Tomorrow? Dad, I don't know if we can. It's important. Silence. Then, okay, we'll come after lunch. They arrived at 2:30. Sarah carried a small gift bag, probably clearance items from Target, wrapped in newspaper. Brad wore expensive jeans and a polo shirt with a designer logo. Emma wasn't with them. Where's Emma? I asked. Playdate, Sarah said quickly. So what did you need to talk about? We sat in the same conference room where I'd met with Margaret Sullivan. I'd asked Brenda to reserve it. She'd agreed, giving me a knowing look that suggested she'd seen this conversation before, too. I'm leaving Meadowbrook, I said. Sarah's face flooded with relief. Oh, Dad, I'm so glad you're seeing reason. I'm buying a house. Brad laughed. Actually laughed. Dad, come on, be realistic. You don't have money for a house. The equity from your old place went to pay off your restaurant debt that you told me was Sarah's medical emergency, I said calmly. The $180,000 debt that somehow paid for vacation to Mexico and designer handbags and golf clubs. The color drained from Sarah's face. I found the receipts, I continued. In the garage, before my fall. Dad, I can explain. I inherited money, I said. From Robert Chen, my old business partner. He died last week. Brad's eyes lit up. I watched greed bloom across his face like mold on bread. How much? Enough. Dad, that's wonderful. Sarah grabbed my hand. Her eyes were wet. See? Everything works out. This is perfect. You can help us with the second mortgage. And Brad's been looking at this investment opportunity, and… No. The word landed heavy. What? Sarah's voice climbed. I said no. I'm not giving you any money. But we're family. Brad stood up, his chair scraping. Family helps family, right? Isn't that what you always said? It is what I said. When I signed over my house, to save you from debt that didn't exist. When I gave you my savings for Sarah's emergency surgery, that turned out to be a tummy tuck. When I paid for Emma's private school because you said you couldn't afford it, and then watched you buy a new Mercedes. We needed that car for Brad's job. Sarah was crying now. You don't understand the pressure we're under. The appearances we have to maintain. You're right. I don't understand maintaining appearances while abandoning your father in a nursing home on Thanksgiving. We put you here for your own good. Brad's voice rose. After your fall, I didn't fall. I sat down. Because I was shocked by your lies. The room went quiet, except for Sarah's muffled sobs. Get out, I said softly. Dad, please, get out, both of you. And don't come back unless you're ready to have an honest conversation about what you've done. They left. Sarah's sobs echoed down the hallway. Brad's angry footsteps. The slam of a door. I sat in the conference room for a long time, Robert's letter still in my pocket, and felt something I hadn't felt in 6 months. Relief. Over the next week, I moved fast. Margaret Sullivan helped me find a house. Nothing fancy, but mine. 3 bedrooms in a quiet neighborhood with a good elementary school 2 blocks away. I bought it cash. I set up accounts, transferred money, made plans. I also hired a private investigator. His name was Marcus Webb, and he specialized in financial investigations. I gave him Brad's information and told him to dig. I had a feeling the debt went deeper than one failed restaurant. I was right. Marcus called me 3 days later. Your son-in-law has $340,000 in credit card debt. He's being sued by 2 business partners for fraud. He's behind on the Mercedes payments. And get this, he took out a second mortgage on your daughter's house. Without telling her. She thinks they're only $50,000 underwater. They're actually $275,000 in the hole. My chest hurt. Does Sarah know about most of it? No. Webb paused. Mr. Morrison, I've seen this before. He's a gambler. Sports betting. Mostly. Online poker. He's got accounts on 4 different betting sites. He's losing about $10,000 a month. Jesus. There's more. He's been telling your daughter he's closing big sales at the dealership. He hasn't sold a car in 3 months. He's about to be fired. I thanked Marcus and hung up. Then I called Sarah. Dad? Her voice was small, hopeful. Are you ready to talk? I need you to come see me. Alone. Don't tell Brad. Why? Please, Sarah. This is important. It's about your marriage. She came that afternoon. I'd asked Margaret Sullivan to be there too. We sat in my new living room. Dad, this place is… Sarah looked around, confused. How did you… The inheritance was $12 million, I said, give or take. Her jaw dropped. I'm telling you because you need to know what Brad knows, and what he's planning. I slid Marcus's report across the coffee table. Watched Sarah's face as she read. Watched the color drain, then flood back in angry red blotches. Watched her hands shake. He told me $50,000, she whispered. He said, if we just tightened our belts, we could. He's been lying to you for years, sweetheart. The question is, what are you going to do about it? Sarah looked up at me, tears streaming. I don't know. I do, I said gently. You're going to take Emma and move in with me while you figure things out. You're going to file for divorce, and you're going to let Margaret help you protect whatever assets you have left. But Emma, she loves her dad. This will destroy her. Staying will destroy her worse. She'll learn that it's okay to lie, to manipulate, to use people who love you. I leaned forward. She'll learn that love means giving up everything until there's nothing left. Sarah sobbed. I held her. My daughter, who I'd raised alone after her mother died, who I'd taught to be strong and independent, who'd somehow forgotten both in the face of a man with a nice smile and expensive taste. "I'm sorry, Dad," she choked out. "I'm so sorry for what we did to you. For the house. For lying. For leaving you there. I know. And we'll work through it. But first, you need to save yourself. And Emma." Sarah moved in that night. Emma was confused at first. Thought it was a vacation. Then excited about the new house. The new room I'd set up for her with furniture she picked out online. Brad showed up 2 days later, pounding on my door, demanding to see his wife. I let him in. Stood between him and the staircase where Sarah and Emma were upstairs, safely out of sight. "You poisoned her against me," Brad spat. "You told her lies." I showed her bank statements, court documents, betting site records. Which part was a lie? His face went red. "Family helps family. That's what you said. That money should be helping your daughter, not being hoarded by some bitter old man. That money," I said quietly, "was earned by a man who kept his word, who built things that lasted, who didn't lie to the people he loved." I stepped closer. "You're not family, Brad. You never were. Family doesn't abandon elderly fathers at nursing homes. Family doesn't steal inheritances. Family doesn't destroy the people who trust them. You can't keep me from my daughter, Emma." "Sure I can. Sarah has full custody while the divorce is pending. Margaret made sure of it. You'll get supervised visitation once a week, if you're lucky." I watched something break behind his eyes. The charming facade. The smooth-talking salesman. What was left was smaller, meaner, desperate. "You'll regret this," he said. "The only thing I regret," I replied, "is not seeing you clearly sooner." He left. 2 weeks later, he filed for bankruptcy. The dealership fired him. The lawsuits piled up. Last I heard, he was living in a studio apartment on the east side, working at a phone store, trying to convince anyone who'd listen that he was the victim. Sarah's doing better. She got a job at a hospital, medical billing. It doesn't pay much, but it's honest work. She's in therapy. So is Emma, who asks about her dad sometimes but seems happier here. Lighter, like a weight, lifted. I set up a trust for Emma. College fund. Down payment on her first house someday. Protected from anyone who might try to take it. Margaret helped me structure it, so only Emma can access it when she turns 25. I also set up something else. A foundation in Robert's name. It helps elderly people who've been financially abused by family members. Provides legal aid. Financial counseling. A place to start over, because I learned something these past few months. Family isn't blood. It's not DNA, or shared last names, or obligation. Family is the people who show up, who remember you 20 years later, who build you up instead of tearing you down. Robert was family. Margaret became family. Even Brenda from Meadowbrook, who called to check on me last week, is more family than Brad ever was. And Sarah? She's finding her way back, learning to be the daughter I raised instead of the person Brad tried to make her. It's slow, sometimes painful, but she's trying. That's all I can ask. Last week, Emma asked if we could go to her old school, see her friends. I drove her over, watched her run across the playground, watched her laugh. A woman approached me. Another parent. "Are you Emma's grandfather?" "I am. She talks about you all the time. Says you're her hero." I looked at my granddaughter, 8 years old, building something in the sandbox with focused determination. Using a stick, like a level. Measuring with her hands. "She's going to be an architect," I said. "Or an engineer. Or maybe a builder. Whatever she wants. She's lucky to have you." I thought about luck, about inheritance. About the difference between money you're given and money you earn. About the difference between family you're born with and family you choose. "I'm the lucky one," I said, and I meant it. Sarah and I still don't talk about what happened without Margaret there. It's too raw, too much hurt on both sides. But we're talking. She brings Emma by for dinner 3 times a week. We play board games, watch movies, build things with Emma's Lego sets. Last month, Sarah asked if I'd teach her to fix things. Basic stuff, she said. Change a tire, patch drywall. I want to be able to take care of myself. Take care of Emma. So now we spend Saturday mornings in my garage. I show her how to use tools, how to measure twice and cut once, how to fix what's broken instead of throwing it away. It's slow work. But then, all good building is. Robert understood that. He built an empire slowly, honestly, brick by brick. I try to do the same. Build something good with what he gave me. Something that lasts beyond money, beyond property, beyond inheritance. Legacy isn't what you leave behind when you die. It's what you build while you're alive. The people you lift up, the truth you tell, the integrity you maintain even when it costs you everything. Robert left me $12 million, but the real gift was the reminder that I matter, that loyalty matters, that the work we do and the way we treat people echo long after we're gone. I'm 77 now. I don't know how many years I have left, but I know this. I'm spending them building trust with Sarah, building memories with Emma, building a foundation that might help other people avoid what I went through. And every night, before I go to sleep, I take Robert's letter from my nightstand, read it one more time, feel the weight of friendship that transcended time and distance, and all the things that usually tear people apart. Build something good with this. David, I'm trying, old friend. I'm trying.